This is time for the church to arise. And if I may ask, where is the mantle of Elijah? Zaniha kagadabagadosh antarabakura bashanda. Abagedesh abalagadabagadash. Why are we making noise all over the place? Meanwhile, some are doing 21 days, all of us are doing. Some are doing 40 days, some are doing 60 days. For what? You need to ask yourself what it's for. And after, where is the grace of the generation of Daniel? People who can look at the king eyeball to eyeball. We don't care to know. We don't bother to die. Whatever it is, if our God cannot give us victory and deliverance, so let it be. You see this here? Minimize moving around. When I moving around, I didn't say, do you understand what I'm talking about? Running from one place to the other. Minimize every program. They must find you. Do more of giving the Holy Spirit space and time in your life. Because he's the one who will sponsor this dimensional glory. So when we talk about from glory to glory, we are talking about continually, now mark the word, continually being changed into what you are created to be. Continually being conformed to the likeness of God. Continually being changed into his nature and character. That is what it means to move from glory to glory. God himself, who created the heaven and the earth, is glory personified. Everything about God is glorious. Even the creature is glorious. So when you look around the world, you will discover that the world, there is this glory about the whole earth. You know, sometimes when you move around, you see some building, some edifice. Sometimes you'll be looking at them. If you are not careful, you'll fall inside that gutter where you are looking at this beautiful house. So you will just discover that there is this glory of even the things you see around you. So there is a glory. And when we talk about this glory personified God, what does it mean when you talk about glory? When we talk about glory, we are talking about fragrance, beauty, ecstasy, magnificence, dignity. It has an aura of presence. But you cannot talk about the glory without talking about presence. Moses, a man whom I would say was so passionate about this glory. He was so passionate about this glorious God. Moses was a man who saw so many things. Now, the first thing he talked about was the presence. Before the glory, there has to be the presence. So Moses was a man who was gloriously, if you allow me to use that word, passionate. So passionate about this glory. He saw so many things. He saw Israel. When they crossed with their legs over the Red Sea. They were looking at the Red Sea, but they were walking on a dry ground. He saw it. He saw all the magicians, all the activities of the magicians in Egypt. He saw the pestilences in Egypt. He saw it all. But despite the fact that he saw it all, he was still looking for this glory we are talking about. And this glory we are talking about is not just a glory, it's not static. He was still living till 120. That means that God granted him longevity. And when he was passing on, the Bible recorded that his eyes did not grow dim. His strength was still strong at 120. Now, one thing you should know about this glory, when it comes, you don't need to be confused about the glory when the glory arrives. The Shekinah glory, the indwelling presence of God. When this glory comes, even as you are seated here, you won't miss it, you won't mistake it for, it was like It was like, you will know what you have seen. He said it was like what? The devouring fire. And that made Moses to stay further for 40 days. He was on top of that mountain. Shakia Kagadabagado Shanda. He was on top of that mountain. He couldn't leave. And when he struggled to leave and came down, everybody who saw him started looking for face mask. That was when face mask started. They started looking for veil to cover their faces, because nobody could behold this glory. Within the week, one of you saw me say, "Hey, mommy, you see glory everywhere." I said, "This is not the type of glory. The type of glory, I think the person is still here." I said, "The one I'm asking for is the one when as I just come out, as you just see me, so you will not even say mommy, because the glory will overshadow you." Can we move from this beggarly Christianity and move to a place of substance, to what God is calling us in this season for?